Hopefully
Okay, we
people
are on. Let us know if you can hear us okay because this has been the most technical difficulty live ever.
can
So,
you
can
hear me
y'all hear
now?
us? Because we are having trouble hearing each other.
Right. Can you hear me though? Or it's just really low?
No, I can barely hear you. It's like you're coming through my phone instead of my speaker.
Wow. Did you
It's really weird.
disconnect your earbuds?
Yeah, they're not connected.
Hmm. Have no
I don't know what
idea.
happened. It was like when I went over to make the wall post and when I came back you said we lost all of our sound.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course. Of course. Yeah, I'm sorry. We are having technical difficulties. It wouldn't let me log in to the original live that I had shared. And now that I'm back, Nikki and I can barely hear each other. So, will y'all let us know in the chat if you can hear us okay or if you can barely hear us?
All right. Hi guys. I pulled Aubrey out.
Because I don't see anything that says anything about volume.
I know I was looking on mine too, and my phone is raised up as high as it'll go. So,
And I don't know why, but mine says orientation is locked. Rotate device back. I'm not trying to do anything with the orientation. Okay, Stiletto Supermom says, I can hear you both. Okay, and you can hear us. We don't sound muffled or anything because we're sounding muffled to each other. We're sounding
yeah.
like we're talking through our phones, but not on speakers, like you'd be holding your phone out from your ear speaking to somebody.
Right.
Okay, as long as you guys can hear, that's all that
Yeah, I'll
matters.
just like get really, really close so I can hear.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, me too. I'll sit really close. So, welcome everybody. I'm glad you're here. I'm here with Nikki from All About Nikki's Dolls. And I have brought on my baby Stellan. She is the Everly Gwen by Natalie Scholl. And Natalie is in the chat. So
hi
that's our
Natalie.
sculptor.
Hi Stiletto Supermom.
And she is a newborn sized reborn doll. And she is sculpted after a real baby named Everly Gwen. And she was reborn by Brandon's Coffee of Dollies and Things. And so, anyways, I have her sitting in one of the new props I just bought. Well, new to me. It was from Marketplace, and I actually got it for grandbabies I have on the way, but they can like double for my reborns. So, win-win situation.
Oh,
Okay,
so
as long
cute.
as we're clear to you guys, we can deal with it.
Yeah, right.
Thank you. And Nikki, you want to tell everybody who you have with you?
I have Aubrey, and she is the Adele Sculpt by Pinglau. And she is my Russian princess. I actually got this baby. I bought her on eBay with a Russian artist. And that's something else you'll be discussing later. But yes, and I love her to death. I cannot pronounce the Russian artist's name, so I'm so sorry. I don't even know if she's still selling dolls anymore. She was selling quite a bit. But I love her. She's my first open eyed sculpt. When I first started, I only wanted closed eyed. So she was like a
Yeah.
baby that I seen. I loved her and I just wanted to get her.
Well, I'm glad you ended up getting her. But yes, there is definitely going to be a story with Nikki and Aubrey in the month of January for the Doll Room Live, which is what I'm calling my live show starting on the 1st. So um,
Hmm.
I just want to welcome everybody in and I just want to thank you for joining us tonight. So I want to start by setting the tone for the live. So this is not a call out stream, it's not a hate stream or an attack on anyone personally. This is going to be a factual conversation about what happens when a niche hobby, like specifically the reborn community, is intentionally misrepresented for clicks and views and profit. Because unfortunately,
Hmm.
it happens.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, hopefully, some of my mods will show up. But Nikki and I will do our best to keep things moderated because she is a moderator. So hopefully some more will show up since Nikki is participating on the screen. So
Yeah, I'm sitting right in front of the phone, so I can just about hopefully
okay,
catch,
so yeah,
you know.
we'll try unless someone else shows up. So I know y'all are aware. Like recently, content has just been circulating from creators outside of our community who frame reborn collectors as people who believe dolls are real children or who imply that engaging in this hobby is like evidence of a mental illness. And that
Mhm,
framing is not accidental. Like, that's not
mhm,
just something that, oops, that happened because my viewers assumed. So,
mhm,
tonight we're going to talk about the facts. We're going to talk about
mhm,
where reborns actually come from, how roleplay content works, how monetization incentivizes sensationalism sometimes,
mhm.
and why stigmatizing mental health is harmful. Because let's just face it, it is very harmful.
Right.
So, as I said, Nikki is joining me as my guest, and we'll be opening the chat for respectful discussion. Disagreement is fine, but disrespect is not. So, just keep that in mind. But I want you to know that this conversation matters, and I'm glad that all of you are here.
Right.
So, as I said, this live is not going to be about attacking individuals. It's about correcting narratives and protecting our community and encouraging an informed discussion with everyone who's here. So, respectful dialogue is welcome and actually it's required. So,
Mhm.
harassment and stigmatizing language will be removed, and if it becomes a problem, so will the person speaking the language.
Right.
So,
And I hope
hopefully, we have all that
th
behind us.
yeah. And I hope this live is shared, if you would love to share it so we can hype up, more since this hobby is getting so to me, I think it's already been a big thing, but people who are just coming in and social media is so big now. It's quick to
Mm-hmm.
get on something and talk about it. But I would love if this was shared so more people can see it and sort of have more avenues to take than just listening to
Absolutely.
just
So if
one
y'all are on
thing.
here and you wouldn't mind, hit the share button. I did share the original live that I scheduled on my wall, but it would not let me log in. I tried. Nikki and I have been on here trying to log into it for 20 minutes before the live started, and it just was not allowing it. YouTube glitch or something. I don't know what happened. But, anyways, that's why we had to start the new live. And it worked that time, but now Nikki and I can barely hear each other, so there's still some kind of glitch going on. But you guys can
Mhm.
hear me and Nikki, so that's fine. So, quick reminder for the chat. Like I said, disagreement is welcome, but harassment, mental health shaming, or repeating debunked claims will be removed. And because this is a moderated space and we want everybody to feel safe. So,
I also wanted to say
so I
that
think I
if
want to start out. Oh, you're loud again. Yay, I can hear
can
you
you hear
good
me
now.
now?
Yes.
Look, I'm echoing now.
Oh no. Turn your volume down a little bit. Do you have it on with another device? Sometimes that'll
N-
happen.
No, I don't have another one.
Okay. Yeah, I guess turn it. Well, you had it turned
Yeah, I
up
just
so
turned
loud
it
before
down.
we couldn't hear each other at all. So, but anyways, let's talk about the real history of reborn dolls, and then I have some questions that I'm gonna ask you in the viewing section, and then I'm gonna ask Nikki some questions, and so we're gonna just keep a flow of a conversation going, and then at the end we'll have questions that you guys are welcome to ask either one of us. So, before opinions get involved, facts matter. So, I want to start by talking about the actual history of reborn dolls because this is often completely ignored in those sensationalized videos. Like, nobody talks about this. So, reborn dolls originated from what I have learned in the 90s. And at that time, they were created by doll collectors who wanted dolls to look more realistic than what was commercially available. So artists would take store bought dolls and they would repaint them and add hair and modify them just to try to achieve more realism. And so in the early 2000s, the hobby evolved and sculptors began creating reborn doll kits from scratch, like they would sculpt from clay and have them sent to make kits. And then voila, we had reborn kits. So they were specifically designed to be painted and weighted and assembled by artists. And so that was a major turning point because reborns became a recognized art form and not just modified toys. So, around that same time, medical professionals began noticing that realistic weighted dolls could be beneficial for dementia patients. And so, later, doctors and therapists also recognized that reborns could provide comfort for individuals experiencing grief or loss or anxiety, things of that nature. And so it's important, I think, to understand that reborn dolls were not invented as a mental health treatment, even though they can be for that. They were created for collectors and artists first. So any therapeutic use came later and was recognized by professionals. And so it definitely was not assigned by any internet commentary like they would like to think. So, at this point, I want to ask y'all some questions and you can answer to the best of your ability. It's easy questions. Don't worry, you're not going to be graded. It's just questions to see what you guys think. And so, for the chat, I would like you to answer for me, when did you first discover reborn dolls? And so while you guys are answering that, I would like to ask Nikki a question. So, Nikki, when did you first learn about the history of reborn dolls? And did it surprise you about how far back it actually goes?
Okay, when I first learned the history, I think it was a couple of years after I realized there was reborn dolls in the community. I just happened to see them and love them, and I started my own little rabbit hole to just I mean, I was so impressed with the realism, and I didn't know they went that far back, actually.
I didn't either until I
And I
started
started my
researching.
journey in 2018. Well, actually 2017. And I did my homework for a year before I did my first purchase.
Yeah, so in your experience, like, why do you think the art and the collector roots of reborns are continuously ignored in these online discussions, videos, or whatever of people who are not in the hobby? Like, why do you
I
think
hate to
that?
say it like this. I mentioned in a video that I got coming out in a couple of hours. I think people just love trauma and drama. I hate to say it like that, but I really would love if people started noticing that this wasn't creepy, that if it creeps you out, then that means it did its job a little bit because the realism is so great.
Right.
And
The
I wish it
talent
would
that goes
focus back
into.
on artists and sculptors instead of the trauma part and the drama part of it.
I agree.
People click when they see something is negative.
Mm-hmm.
So, mental health is not negative, of course, but usually when these dolls are represented, it's represented with tags of loss and trauma.
Yep, that's true. And it's like it becomes like a train wreck. Like our community is like a token for them right now. They can like
Hmm.
they know they can put that title up there with a thumbnail with the lady with a doll, and people are going to click on it because oh my goodness, you should
Hmm.
see some of the comments on these videos.
And one of the things that I wish more people was like
I know.
this. When I found dolls, I was shocked to see how realistic they looked, but it only wanted me to learn more. Whether I agree or disagree with something I've never heard of, I will never get one source from one avenue. I'm going to go and investigate, whether I like it or not.
Yeah. So, like you guys in the chat, who answered my question? Natalie said, I found them when I decided to sculpt about 2007 ish. Yeah, well, that's pretty early. That I had not discovered them at that time, but it was only about 3 years later. And then Stiletto Mom said, there's a lot of bullying. I had no idea how negative some people are in the community. It's sad. It is sad because this is such a beautiful hobby, and I don't understand why so many people want to waste their energy being negative when there's so many beautiful things about this hobby that you can
Mhm.
be involved in besides drama. So, I have another question for anyone in the chat who wants to answer it. So, what part of Reborn history do you think people misunderstand the most? So, while you guys are answering that, Nikki, I want to ask you, have you noticed a difference between how collectors view reborns versus how outsiders assume that we view them?
Yes, I see a big difference. Thankfully, I come from a family that accepted my hobby. A lot of people say, they're uncomfortable to bring them around people because they don't want to be ashamed. But one of the questions I got was, do you want more children? No, I think a reborn doll, a silicone doll should never be compared to a real child.
Exactly. There's no comparison. A silicone and reborn doll is a hobby. A real child is not a hobby.
Right.
It's
We
the
can
furthest
we
thing
can
from a hobby.
we can dress them and then set them aside for 2 or 3 months if we want to.
Exactly. And they're there for us when we want to play with them or we need them, but our family of course comes first. So of course real children, our real family is going to come before our dolls always. That's just
Mm-hmm.
how it's going to be.
Hmm. And I've never once came across anyone who was delusional about their doll and a real child. Role play, that I think that's the people see a role play video and they just run with it.
Right. Yeah, they do. And they don't realize that, or they do realize because I'm done being just complacent about this. They know.
Mm-hmm.
They know that we know their dolls. They know that role players are role playing for their entertainment, their viewers' entertainment. We're in tune with our viewers. I didn't do role play videos for a while, and people were actually asking my friends, like somebody had asked Tanya, they were like, hey, why hasn't Penny put a role play video up in a while? Like, I would love to see her do some more. So, like, they are entertained by it. And let's face
Mm-hmm.
it, it's part of what you do for your channel, and that's how it works. I mean, you're in tune with your viewers and you're in tune with yourself as a collector as well. And so you attract like minded collectors who like the same thing and they enjoy your content.
Mm-hmm. Because let's just, this hobby can be very lonely. If you're starting out and you don't know anybody in the hobby, after a while, when
Yes.
you even tell your friends and family about a doll, they're not going to be excited as your dolly friends.
No.
So that's why we sort of reach out to find more like us.
Mm-hmm. Because even though they might support you in it, it's not their
Mhm,
thing. So,
mhm,
like I support my husband in his, he loves lowriders and he loves to paint and fix up on cars. I support him fully in that, but it's not my thing. I don't want to be out there with him doing it, but I'm cool
mhm,
that he does it. But
mhm,
it's not my thing, and that's okay. Everybody's not going to like the same thing.
mhm,
So, did anybody in the chat? I don't see an answer. Nobody in the chat's answering my questions except for one or two. mean, Stiletto Supermom said, finally, you said it. It's such a beautiful art. Absolutely. And,
Hmm.
and that's what it is first and foremost. Like, I
And the art
realize
gets
that.
taken away.
Yes, the art gets taken away because of all the sensationalism. And, first and foremost, it is a work of art, it is a collector's item. And that's what it is first. I realize that we take them and give them names and personalities and do role play type things with them, and it kind of gives them their own little life, so to speak. But it's an object, it's a thing, it's a piece of art. So that's what it is first and foremost.
And you have
And
different
you have different
collectors.
collectors. Mm-hmm.
People just
People
collect
just
and sit
collect
them
and sit them
down.
down,
And then you
and
have
then you
people who
have people who
interact.
interact. Right. And you and I, we're the collectors that don't just sit our dolls down.
Yeah.
We're involved with our dolls. So, like, the next thing I want to talk about is how monetized content can incentivize sensationalism.
Hmm.
And so, I want to speak matter of fact about it. I'm not going to be like accusing anybody of anything or bringing up content creators' names or anything like that. So, I feel like that this gets ignored when people claim misunderstanding. Oh, well, I was, just curious about your hobby or whatever. No, you're not. Not most people are not. They know what they're doing. They know, like I said, if they put that up there and put that thumbnail up there with that title of this woman with dolls and this woman has six fake kids and they know that's going to be sensationalized, it's going to draw viewers, and they're going to make money. So on monetized platforms, content like that gets rewarded when it generates strong reactions. That's how the algorithm works. So any type of shock or outrage or confusion or ridicule, the more extreme the framing, the more comments, the more clicks, the more shares,
Hmm.
the more everything it tends to get. And so creators who are monetized understand this. They know how thumbnails and titles and editing and framing influences their engagement. They know that. So that's not a speculation. I can't really say, oh, well, I speculate they know. It's not a speculation because I'm a content creator and I know that that's how content creation works. I mean, you want to attract people to your videos. So when Reborn content is presented as these people think dolls are real, in a thumbnail, or this is disturbing, it creates outrage and mockery. The outrage drives views, and the views generate revenue. And so this is not confusion. This is a choice in presentation. And when creators repeatedly benefit from the same misleading narrative, to me it becomes clear that the misunderstanding is not accidental, it's profitable.
Exactly.
Exactly. They can't say, oh, well, this just accidentally happened this way. No, they're meaning for it to happen that way. Tanya said they're definitely using our hobby to get views when criticizing. And
I
Lily says,
agree
I
definitely
agree
with
definitely with
Tanya.
Tanya. She says, hey girl, hey girl, hey.
Hey, hey,
Hey, hey
Hopper.
Hopper.
Look, Aubrey
Look,
says hi,
Aubrey says hi,
Antonia.
Antonia. Yeah, and that's not such a good thing to use a hobby or anything like that, especially when you're involving like mental illness and all that kind of stuff with it. So, to the people in my chat, I have a question for you to answer in the comments. Do you think outrage content performs better than, like, say, a video like this that's educational content? And if so, tell me why you think that.
Yes, I
Yes,
think
I
that.
think that. And let's see, Natalie said, do collectors and artists who use content that makes it look like collectors do those things with their dolls every day? Yeah, they do. They make it look like it's their life 24/7, and it's for content. That's what it's
Mhm.
for. And so, Nikki, as also as a content creator, how do you see monetization shaping the way content is framed online?
Well, I'm not
I'm not
monetized,
monetized,
but I
but
think they're
I think they're
probably
probably
for people
for
who
people
are,
who
you're
are, you're
constantly trying
constantly
to
trying
stay
to
in the
stay in
loop
the
of
loop of
what's the hot
what's the hot
topic.
topic.
But if
But
I feel
if
like if
I
you
feel like
just
if
do
you just do
naturally whatever
naturally
you
whatever you
decided to do
decided to
your
do
your
your
base your
base
channel
your
on,
channel on,
that's what you have
that's
to
what you
look
have to
at.
look at.
But
But
like I love
like
role
I
play.
love
I
role
just
play.
don't
I
do it
just don't do
enough.
it enough.
I do it
I do it
very
very
sparingly, but
sparingly,
not
but
because I
not
don't
because I
want
don't
to.
want to.
I love
I love
watching it.
watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But people
But
that's
people that's
outside of the
outside of the
community,
community,
they don't
they
understand
don't
that once the
understand that once
camera
the
goes
camera
off,
goes off,
we can leave
we
that
can
dog
leave that
sitting in
dog
front
sitting in
right
front
there
right there
the rest of the
the rest of
night.
the night.
Right. It's not like we're getting up at midnight going, "Oh, you need your diaper changed."
Right, but that's
Right,
just
but that's
like
just like
probably just what
probably
the hot
just what the
topic
hot
is,
topic is,
like my
like
night
my night
routine.
routine.
So
So
somebody is going
somebody is
to
going to
create a
create
video,
a
whatever
video,
its
whatever its
algorithm is,
algorithm is,
showing that's
showing
really
that's
good
really
right
good
now.
right now.
Natalie said, I missed the question again because I was typing. I said, as a creator, how do you see monetization shaping the way content is? Or, no, wait, that's Nikki's question. Do you think outrage content performs better than educational content online? And you can even provide why you think that.
And I
Stiletto said,
And I
definitely
my
think
mom
definitely
said,
that.
think that.
unfortunately, yes, controversy sells. And then Tanya says, and yes, my dolls are everywhere in my house, but they are just here because it makes me happy to see them. Yeah, it's not like you're getting up cooking breakfast for them every day
Hmm.
and, going about your day like you have real children.
Right.
Right.
Also, for the people in the chat, have you ever seen a reborn video framed in a way that felt intentionally misleading? Like, have you ever seen any of those videos of people doing that? And how did that make you feel? Um, and as far as you, Nikki, how have you noticed reborn content being used differently once monetization is involved?
I think you have
I
more
think you have more
pressure to
pressure
like
to like
stay
stay
ahead.
ahead.
I think
I think
this hobby,
this
like
hobby,
for
like
me,
for me,
it's such a
it's such a
relaxer and it's
relaxer and
stress
it's stress
free.
free.
And I just get
And I
on when
just
I
get
feel
on when I
like
feel
it.
like it.
But I feel
But
like
I
once
feel
you get
like once you get
monetized, there is
monetized,
a
there's a
pressure
pressure
to stay in the
to
loop.
stay in the loop.
Yeah.
Like right now,
Like
the
right
hot
now, the
topic
hot
for
topic
me
for
is
me is
I've
I've
seen
seen
so
so
many
many
reactor
reactor
channels
channels
reacting to this
reacting to this
hobby.
hobby.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
So
So
for whatever
for
reason, I
whatever
don't know
reason, I don't
why,
know why,
it's just showing
it's
up
just showing up
a lot
a
here
lot
lately.
here lately.
Yeah. Because they are tagging reborn community content. So,
Hmm.
and since that's what we watch, and they're putting all kinds of tags on their videos, and so that's why you see it pop up in the chat, like, or in your,
Hmm.
not chat, but in your recommended, like you log into YouTube, and because that happened with me more than once, I was like, why is this being recommended to me to watch? These people like actually do not like reborns, and they are stigmatizing the whole community that collects them. So why are you showing this to me, YouTube?
Right,
But the
right.
Right,
algorithm
right.
just picks up what they talk about and what they tag. So that's why it shows it to you.
And I don't
And I
like
don't
reading the
like reading the
comments.
comments.
I told
I
myself
told
I'm not
myself
going to
I'm
read
not
the
going to read the
comments,
comment,
and I
and
do,
I do,
Yeah,
and
me
which will
too.
make you
which will
mad.
make you mad.
And Natalie said, I see that my positivity posts don't get as much traction as others. Not that I do anything outrageous, but educational, as in tutorials, they do well. Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad that that seems to do well with you. And then Tanya said you watch your YouTube studio like a crazy person and sweat everything. Well, I'm just in tune. Like, if I put a video up and 5 people unsubscribe, I'm like, well, what was so bad about that video? Like, why did they unsubscribe? And Everybody does that.
Hmm.
Tanya said all comments help your channel, so I don't care what they post.
That is
That is
true.
true.
Negative
Negative
comments will
comments
boost
will
you up
boost you
there.
up there. And Stiletto Supermom said, personally, I like watching collectors change their dolls and talk about fun things. I wish there was more content like this. Yeah, I do too. I share a lot of content like that. Now, I do also do role play and stuff, but I share a lot of change in chats and hauls
Yeah,
and
that's
stuff
my
like
biggest
that's my that.
thing
Biggest thing
too.
too.
Change in
Change
chat.
in chat. Mm-hmm. I enjoy those as well. Um, so, Nikki, do you think some creators understand the truth but choose a more sensational angle anyway? Like they realize that we know they're not real, but they still put that narrative out there on purpose?
Yeah, of
Because
course.
yeah, I do. I see
Yes,
this plain as day.
yes, of
Yes,
course.
of
I just
course. I
feel
just
like
feel like
I hate to say
I
it,
hate to
but
say it, but
drama
drama
sells.
sells. Mm-hmm.
People are tend
People
to
are tend to
click
click
to
to
negativity.
negativity.
Honestly.
Honestly, yeah, it's like a train wreck.
Hmm.
It's like you see it, and you don't really like that happened, but you can't help but keep your eyes on it because it's a train wreck, and you're going to look at it anyway. And that's kind of the same way with like things like this that goes on with us. People are going to watch it. Like these people they have huge platforms. Some of them have over 1 million subscribers, so their videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Right.
Right. So, and then what do? They come at us. Like here they come looking for our stuff.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
So,
somebody
and
who
somebody
has
who has
so
oh, sorry, go
a
ahead.
big
A big
channel,
channel,
people tend
people tend
to
to
think what they
think what
say
they say
is
is
golden
golden
instead of
instead
doing
of
their own
doing their
research.
own research. Yeah, that that is the main reason I think for the people who are just watching that person's content. That is the main purpose. They don't do their own research, and that is the main purpose for their misunderstanding. But the content creators, they don't misunderstand it at all because
Right.
who is going to put content out there that they don't research? They already know before they put that out there, and but they know their viewers don't, so that's why they do it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. So for the chat, like this is a question for you. What do you think creators should be responsible for when their content causes harm? Because I believe that content creators are responsible for not only what they are putting out there in their video, but you're also somewhat responsible for your comment section.
Hmm.
So if someone's in my comment section putting out a narrative that I'm not trying to represent, that's my job to correct that. That comment can be deleted, or you can tell that person, this is not the narrative that I'm trying to portray, and or whatever, like you're responsible for that as a content creator. So that can't be put off on people, because I've heard people say, well, I can't help what my commenters say. Yeah, you can. There's a block button and a delete button, so yeah, you can.
Well, the sad part
Well, the
about
sad
that
part about
is
that is
people do not like
people
to
do
take
not like to take
accountability
accountability
or
or
liability.
liability. No.
If they get
If they get
views
views
and some money
and
from
some
that,
money from
they're
that,
okay with
they're
it.
okay with it. Yeah, and it's kind of like who cares if somebody gets hurt in the process as long as they're making money from it.
Now,
Now,
if it
if it
personally
personally
attacks
attacks
them,
them,
they probably will
they
come
probably
back
will come
around and
back around and
apologize.
apologize.
But if it
But
doesn't
if it
personally
doesn't
attack
personally
them,
attack
I don't
them,
think they
I don't think
care.
they care. No, or well, or else they wouldn't do it in the first place.
Hmm.
Mhm. But yeah, like I said, I personally think they should take some responsibility in that, because if you're not responsible for your own channel, then who is?
Hmm.
Mhm. You're responsible for the narrative and the outline of your channel. And so you can't say, well, that's not what I represent. and then represent it, because it doesn't work like that.
Mhm. That's true.
That's true. So I guess I haven't seen any more answering in the comment section. So I'm going to move on. Y'all can still, if you're still typing, that's okay. Go ahead and type your answers. But I'm going to go on to my next point, and I want to talk about why stigmatizing mental health is harmful.
Mhm.
So, one of the most damaging parts of this narrative is how quickly it turns into mental health stigma. Oops, I just bumped
Right.
my camera. Right. Comment sections under these videos, they, more times than not, they're labeling reborn collectors as mentally ill, unstable. I've heard one of the comments said, "These people are dangerous." And I'm like, dangerous? What do you mean? And I mean, that language is not harmless because it
Right.
reinforces the idea that using comfort tools or engaging in emotional hobbies is something to be ashamed of. And that using an object, a routine, or a hobby to regulate your emotions or find comfort equals mental illness. And it does not. And even when someone does have a mental health struggle, that does not make them broken, dangerous, or deserving of ridicule.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, reborn dolls, like many other weighted items, can stimulate dopamine, and that's like the brain's feel good chemical. And that same response happens with lots of other hobbies like music and pets. And I don't really, I mean, pets are a hobby, but they're a living, breathing thing. So, but yeah, you can, count dog training, stuff like that as a hobby, I would suppose. But not the actual dogs themselves because they are actually alive. But like
Mhm.
blankets and art, which these are also art, games, just countless other hobbies. Like there's too many to name. It works the same way. And when creators frame reborns as evidence of a mental illness, they aren't protecting anyone. They're actually reinforcing stigma that already causes people to avoid seeking help when they need it. It causes people to not seek support, and it also causes other people to not understand them. So it hurts way more than they pretend like it does or doesn't. Sweet tea that said, "That's me, the dangerous doll maker." Natalie said, "I get torn apart for a comment on one of my posts. I liked it because I agreed with the first portion, and then I was going to deal with the second portion afterwards, but I got so many messages and comments that I couldn't keep up with what then turned into bullying. I agree, but give the poster their time to deal with it." Yeah, in that case, well, like where you're actually dealing with it and you're not putting the post out there for sensationalism and for clicks and views and to monetize, yeah, that's a totally different thing. But when like these creators will put these videos out there and they will get hundreds and hundreds of comments, and it's like a copy and paste message. It's like you can almost every comment you look at, you see the word mental illness, sickening, this person needs help. It's the same stuff over and over. It's like I swear it's a broken record. It's
Well,
just like they copy and paste each other's message.
I touched on this in my video that I'm about to upload. The mental health part of it. I have looked in the comments where people have called people crazy, but then you have other people defending the collector, but in a wrong light. So it's like, leave them alone. They've lost the baby, and this is
Yeah,
how
and
they
they didn't
cope.
know that.
And I was like, how do you know this person's story?
Yeah, they're
They're
looking
used
us
for
up in.
coping when you lose a child. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, like I mean, they can be wonderful for that, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have been through something traumatic like that, I mean, we don't have to justify having these dolls. We can just have them
Right.
because we like them.
And you're
And
right.
you're
You
right.
can
You
have
can
these
have
dolls
these
if that
dolls if
has
that has
happened to
happened
you,
to you,
but
but
that is not
that is
the
not
whole
the whole
hobby.
hobby.
That's just one
That's just one
avenue.
avenue.
Right. Hi, Shelly. Well, Tanya said, when I'm having a rough day, I grab a baby and chill while I watch TV or talk to whomever, and then I feel all better. Yeah, it's if you use them as a mental health tool, that's totally okay. There is nothing wrong with having tools for your mental health. Even if you don't have a diagnosis of a mental health issue,
Hmm.
everybody needs to take care of their mental health. You don't have to have a mental health issue to say, I do this for my mental health. Like, I'm so confused why mental health gets used as a negative thing when everybody does things to keep themselves mentally healthy. They do things they enjoy. They cook foods they like. They go out to watch movies and they go see the person they love. They hang out with a friend. Like, that's all things for your mental health. That's stimulation for your psyche. Like, why? I don't understand why. Like, mental health is like supposedly it's something negative. It's not. Like, it's the same as heart health and everything else. Like, nobody's like, oh my gosh, she is on a low sodium diet. Well, bless her heart. She must have had a
Hmm.
heart attack. Like, people don't say that kind of stuff. Why are you applying it to our hobby?
Oh, Tanya,
Oh,
I'm so
Tanya,
sorry
I'm so
for your
sorry for
loss.
your loss.
And Tanya said, and when I lost my son, I would have loved to have had a reborn back then. Empty arms are sad when you're expecting to bring a baby home. Yeah, it's so sad about when you lost your baby.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, like I said, there's nothing wrong with having it for that. And it's
Hmm.
great for that. But as we
But
say,
no
nobody
But
has
one
no
at
one
substitutes.
no
no
one at
time
no
is
time is
thinking
thinking
this
this
is
is
replacing my
replacing my
actual
actual
child-in-law,
child-in-law,
thinking it's
thinking
real.
it's real.
Right.
And that's
Yeah,
what
And that's
the
what the
they know it's not. And they
yeah,
use it
yeah,
for a
exactly.
coping
exactly.
tool. And they know it's a coping tool.
But they'll
But
turn
they'll
that
turn that
narrative
narrative
as
as
this
this
is
is
they
they
transferred the
transferred
love
the
to this
love to this
doll.
doll.
And that's not
And
true.
that's not true.
Oh, one of my quote unquote favorite comments that I've seen on one of the latest videos is that if we hold our dolls too much or we give them too much of a realistic personality, they're going to become possessed. I was like, okay, um, like, where does that
Hmm.
even come from? And how would that even apply? Like, if you hold the
Transfer.
doll too
Transfer.
much, it's going to get possessed. Like, make that make sense. Like, where does that logic come from? That logic
I
ain't
can't.
I
logical.
can't.
So, to everybody in the chat, I have another question for you. Have you ever seen hobbies other than reborns labeled as weird or mentally unstable? Hi, Melissa. Hi, Monique. Because um, I rarely see that. I see, especially when it comes to men, and I know that there's a lot of men that do receive flack, but I see men do things and I've heard it. I've heard it come out of people's mouths. Well, he just needs to unwind. He's got his remote control car out there. Okay, well, why is that okay for quote unquote him, but it's not okay for me to have a doll to unwind? Stiletto Supermom said there are so many creators who have turned new people in the community away because of gossip and bullying, which is so unfortunate. These people don't have a voice, and we lose good people. That is true. That is so true. I've seen that happen countless times. Monique, we're doing a live video and we're actually talking about some of the many large content creators that are not in the Reborn community who are actually targeting our community right now and stigmatizing mental health and sensationalizing our hobby for clicks and views. So, this is more of an educational video. We're not calling out individual creators, we're not calling out channel names. It's nothing like that. So, don't worry, you're not stepping into anything dramatic. So this is a no drama zone. And so Nikki, I have a question for you. Like, how do comments labeling reborn collectors as mentally ill or sick or whatever, like, how does that affect you? Or have you seen it affect people you know in the community receiving those kind of comments?
Actually, I have
Actually, I have
noticed that it
noticed that it
affected
affected
someone.
someone.
I haven't
I
talked to
haven't
this
talked to
lady
this
in a
lady
few
in a few
years,
years
on
on
Instagram. We
Instagram.
got
We
pretty
got
close,
pretty close,
and she was
and
so
she was so
excited
excited
about doing a
about doing a
documentary
documentary
about
about
reborns,
reborns.
and they took
And
it
they
and
took it
spun
and
it
spun it
and
and
edited it
edited it
to
to
make her
make her
seem
seem
like she
like she
was had lost
had
it
lost it
basically,
basically.
and she
And
stepped
she
away.
stepped away.
And see, that's sad because in order for this industry to grow, the hobby itself needs to grow because we have a symbiotic relationship with our artists and sculptors. We need them, they need us. So if
Mm.
you have people running people away, you've got all these people bombarding from the outside who are not in the hobby, and they're coming in and bombarding people's videos with messages like, you're sick in the head. You have mental health issues. You need a doctor. Like, things have been said to me like that, just like that. Um, that that is just that's so wrong. Like, those people, they really need to have something fulfilling to do with their lives, obviously, because if it's fulfilling to you to basically bully a community of mostly dominantly women, there's some men, but it's predominantly women. If you come in and that makes your life happy to do that to people enjoying a beautiful hobby, then I would say you're the one that needs to take a good look at yourself. And you need to reflect on why you feel that way and why it takes bullying other people to make you feel better. Because I promise it doesn't really make you feel better. You might think it is in the moment, but nobody ever rises by standing on somebody else's shoulders. You rise by lifting others up. That's how that goes.
All right.
All right.
Stiletto Supermom said, "Nope, I really don't know any other hobby that has negative views like the Reborn art community." Me either. I've said that. Like, I go and watch other content creators in different hobbies just to see. Like, I don't see those kind of comments on the Blythedall community videos. I don't see it with like people who collect like the Funko Pops and the action figure community. I don't even see it in people who play video games. Somebody will get on there and cheer somebody on for beating the next level in on a gamer channel. Well, do you not know that's role play too? You're role playing when you're playing that game. So you're not really Sonic the Hedgehog. You know what I mean? Like, if you're playing, you know what I mean? It's just, it's such a double standard, Natalie. So there's a lot of bullying in the industry from the top down. Yep, it does. It happens within the industry as well. Monique said, even if you have some mental illness, I don't see anywhere either. It's always a problem with the reborn babies. Right. Yeah, I spoke on that earlier. I was like, that's stigmatizing, and there's nothing wrong if you do have mental illness and you use reborns or any other type of coping tool. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with boosting your mental health because, to me, I look at it as the same as if you have high blood pressure and you take high blood pressure medication, or, if you have diabetes and maybe you have to take some insulin, it's the same thing. Natalie said, I collect Legos, and Monique said, I saw men playing with Legos. Yeah, they do. They'll show these big, intricate things that they build, and nobody's getting on their videos going, you need to go see a doctor.
Mhm.
Like, they just don't. So, Nikki, why do you think people are so quick to equate comfort tools with mental illness? And I mean, and that's with people who are not in the hobby, because I don't believe anybody in the hobby really does that.
Because the
Because
dolls
the
look
dolls
so
look so
realistic,
realistic.
and that's
And that's
a
a
congratulations to the
congratulations to the
artists
artist
again that do
again
not
that
get
do not get
enough
enough
credit.
credit.
So they
So
see
they
these
see these
realistic looking
realistic
dolls
looking
that
dolls
they
that
had to
they
take a
had to take
second
a
look
second
at,
look at,
and this
and
woman
this
is
woman is
changing that
changing that
doll.
doll.
We're
We're
older,
older.
we're not
We're
young
not
playing with
young playing
dolls,
with dolls,
and they
and they
automatically think that
automatically think
something
that
is
something
wrong.
is wrong.
Yeah. They just don't take the time to learn. They just want to
Right.
jump on the bandwagon of, oh, let's go make fun of these people. Monique said, my babies are therapeutic to me, but that does not make me crazy because I have some mental illness. Absolutely not. It does not. There is nothing
Hmm.
wrong when you have mental illness. There's nothing wrong with having mental illness. Like, it doesn't
Hmm.
make you less than. It doesn't mean that it should be okay to ridicule a person with mental illness. It means none of those things. Someone who has mental illness is just as important as anyone else. And
Right.
as I said, we all have coping mechanisms. It's one of the things that I used to love to do, which I need a new one because the one that I used to have stopped working. But one of my coping mechanisms when I would come home from work when I was working in the school system was my foot massager. I would lay back with a hot towel on my neck and put my feet in that foot massager, and like everything would just disappear. And that was a coping mechanism for me. But you know what? If I showed a video getting that foot massager, getting my feet done, people would probably say, "Oh, where'd you get that? I want one of those." Nobody would be saying, "You know what? You need to go see a doctor because you're not coping very well." They don't say that. And then Shelly said, lately I've been seeing other YouTube content creators saying adult reborn dog collectors are weird, have mental illnesses, etc., without doing the proper research. Yeah, like that's our main topic of what we're talking about here. Like, it's been a lot of big creators, like creators that have like over 1 million subs, are talking about us as a community, our little niche community. And
Hmm.
that's not okay. Like, you're not, I don't care how big of a creator you are, you're not allowed to stigmatize a community of people just because you don't understand it. So either take the time to understand it or leave it alone. That's my take.
And a big
And
one
a
is,
big
why
one
don't
is,
you
why
go
don't
and
you go
adopt
and
some
adopt some
children?
children?
Right? Once again, children and hobby are not the same. Not the same. You wouldn't tell a train collector, why don't you go drive a real train? Why don't you become a train conductor? Why do you just have this little model train? They would never say
Not
that to
knowing
you.
Not
that
knowing that
person,
person.
and if they're a
And if
good
they're a
person
good
or not,
person
and
or
you
not,
tell
and
them
you
to go
tell them to
adopt
go
some
adopt
kids.
some kids.
Right. Monique said, have you
A
ever
doll
thought
is
that
not
maybe
Dollars
they
not
are
equal.
equal.
jealous because they're always talking about reborn babies? Um, I would say probably it's more of, I don't think they're jealous of actually the dolls, but it may be a little bit of curiosity about how much these content creators are making, especially the bigger YouTube channels that are pulling in millions of views. It could be that they're
Hmm.
like, hey, why this person's playing with dolls? Why are they making all this money when I've got this commenter channel over here? Like, possibly.
Hmm.
I don't know, but that's speculation on my part. But you know, That's my opinion. Tanya said, yep, it fools them and they aren't sure why or what. The only negative comments I ever got taking babies out was from those who thought they were real and they got fooled. Yeah, it kind of like they feel like that they got duped, like you tricked them on purpose. And you're like, dude, I'm just out here enjoying a hobby. It ain't about you, it's about me.
Mhm.
My vinyl children are way nicer to me. Yeah, well, so I got one more question for the chat. Like, say somebody is respectful. What would you say respectful curiosity would look like to you in place of ridicule? Like, what would you like to see someone, if they truly are curious, like they say they are, what would you like to see them ask you that would represent curiosity and not ridicule? Natalie said, I wonder if it's because women are usually very naturally maternal, so men don't understand the beauty in realistic babies and the joy of just having them not grow up. Hi, Angela. Yeah, I mean, that could be a lot to it too. You know, they don't see the beauty in it and they don't understand it. And Shelley said, I feel
Mhm.
it's ignorance. Sometimes it is ignorance, but here lately, I don't feel like it is so much with the content creators because to be ignorant means you don't know something. And these content creators know that if they sensationalize our hobby and put those videos up, they know they're going to attract viewers. So at that point, they can't feign ignorance because they know. So, Nikki, what do you wish people understood about mental health and hobbies?
Like you said earlier, coping in a healthy way. This is so naturally healthy. It doesn't take away money. Like when I say money from your house, meaning like if you had a habit where you couldn't eat, you would do this before you ate. So stop thinking that this is,
Here, get back. Get back, baby.
we are honestly thinking these dolls are real and we're trying to pass them off as real living babies.
No. Yeah, oh, I mean that's what they think, but no, that's not what we're trying to do. Like
Right.
I think it's like they kind of feel they feel deceived. But we're not deceiving anybody. We are very clear with our content. These are reborn dolls. I'm a reborn doll collector. Like, how
Hmm.
many times do we say that in videos and in wall posts and everything? And it's pretty obvious if we get a box in the mail and we get a realistic doll out of it, I'm pretty sure people don't put real babies in the mail, you know. So if you're mistaking a reborn doll for a real baby when you see somebody get it out of a box, that's on you. Like, that's not on us. Natalie said also, you associate the word doll with a toy. We don't have toys, but they think it's like we haven't grown up.
Right.
Exactly. We are people just like everyone else. Like, we have houses and jobs and responsibilities. And, you know, I mean, this is something that we do for our leisure time.
And take the time to read descriptions. Half
Yes.
of us put in the descriptions, this is a hobby. I am a collector. I'll collect art.
Right. And also, if when you, as a content creator, I highly suggest that if you're not putting anything in your description like that, I suggest you do it because it'll really help get your video out there and to be seen by the right people, the people who actually are wanting to view Reborn Doll content and are collectors or admirers of the Reborn Doll hobby. And it'll have to get your content out there to who wants to view it. And I mean, you're still going to get people that come in out of the hobby and they're going to say stuff that is inappropriate, but for the most part, it'll help you out.
Mhm.
Tanya said, Lord, being the wife and mother is a full time job, and we have to be the boss of it all. The babies give us that joy without the work. Yeah,
That's
like I
so
said,
true,
That's so
Tanya.
true, Tanya. It's for leisure.
Mhm.
Nobody goes to the movies and watches a movie and says, that, oh my gosh, that guy playing that role is so delusional. Nobody goes, oh my gosh, Jason Momoa, you need help. You are not really Aquaman. You know what I mean? Like, we know that he knows he's not Aquaman for real. It's like, and it's the same way. Like, our role play is the same way as a movie. It's like that. We know it's not real. We're purposely creating it for content and enjoyment. Monique said, absolutely true. Tanya said, yes, he is. Stiletto Mom said, some people collect shoes and bags. For others, they like reborns. There's room for everything. Absolutely. And I find that reborn collectors are a lot more accepting of other people in their collections than they are of ours. That's for sure.
Yeah. I hate the
I
word
hate the word
weird,
weird,
and not just
and
in
not
our
just in our
community,
community,
any
any
place,
place,
because I
because
feel
I feel
people
people
associate
associate
weird
weird
with not
with not
understanding
understanding
something and going
something and
against the
going against the
grain.
grain.
If
Yeah,
you're not
it's
doing
If you're
what
not
I'm
doing what
doing,
I'm
you're
doing,
weird.
you're weird. Yeah, it's used in a damaging way.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. It's to shun or separate someone from, like, well, you're not like me. You're weird. Different does
Mhm.
not mean weird. It's just different. So appreciate your differentness, if that's a word.
And I'm
And
not
I'm
quick
not
to
quick
be
to
a
be a
person who likes
person
to
who
get on
likes
the
to
get
get on the
along
get
game
along game
and do what
and do what
everybody else
everybody
does.
else
I
does.
truly
I
do
truly
things
do
because
things
it
because
what
it
makes
what
me
makes me
happy.
happy. Right, because if you lose sight of that, you're going to lose sight of everything you do love. Like, it will literally, it'll you'll get burnout, and then you just won't like anything. Like, you'll just, because I've had that happen to me a couple of times, and
Mhm.
so I speak from experience. Yeah, it implies you're defective, right, Tanya? And it's true. Nobody questions how many shoes a woman wants. No, if I were to show a closet full of shoes and a closet full of bags, I would get all kinds of praise. There might be one or two people get on there and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is excessive," but they're still not going to say you're weird. You need help. Go to the doctor. They're not going to say that. They might say, "Oh my gosh, that's excessive," or "That's too much," or whatever. Mostly, you're going to hear retail therapy. It's like everybody's happy about that.
Right.
Right. So, the next part I want to talk about is the difference between hobby, role play, and reality. And we've already touched on that a little bit, but so I feel like that this also constantly gets ignored is the difference between your hobby and role play and reality. Like, the Reborn hobby is about collecting, artistry, photography, storytelling, and most importantly, connection. Just like what we're doing right now, we are all connected because of these dolls. And so I feel like people enjoy reborns for many different reasons, just like any other niche hobby. Like, we all have a different story of why we got into reborns. Some of us may have similar stories, but nobody's story is exactly the same. So we all got led here down our own path, but we all ended up at the same spot. And we're here to
Mhm.
collect these dolls together and we have fun together. And that is how everybody connects through any kind of hobby. Like, that's what they like, and they meet up somewhere in the middle with other people who also like the same things. And so,
Right.
right, role play is a content format. Like, it's intentional, it's scripted, and it's created for entertainment, just like cosplay, ASMR, storytelling videos, movies, like I just mentioned earlier, gaming role play, which I also mentioned earlier. Role play does not mean belief. So, if I role play that she needs a bottle and I go put a bottle up to her mouth and hold it up to her, that doesn't mean I believe she's really drinking It's role play. So role play does not equal belief. And Reborn creators know these are dolls. Their audience knows these are dolls. At least their regular audience does. And most of their non regular audience does because they're just coming on there to antagonize. That's what they do. So pretending otherwise is a narrative choice by the outsiders, and it's not a reflection of reality. They are the ones who are actually pretending that we don't realize the dolls aren't real. Because I'm not convinced that they think that we think that. It is just for content for their channel. They want to make other people believe that they think it. Like, oh, well, the way they presented it to me, it looked like they really believed it. No, sorry, I don't believe that. Don't believe it at all.
And we
And
use
we
all of
use
these
all of these
props.
props.
And because
And because
the dolls
the
look so
dolls look so
realistic,
realistic,
we're going to
we're
get
gonna
things
get
that
things that
naturally look
naturally look
realistic with
realistic with
them,
them.
like
Right.
a
Like a
bottle,
bottle,
a
a
playpen,
playpen,
a
Yes.
a
bed.
bed.
We're not going
We're
to
not
get
gonna get
a
a
really nice
really nice
doll
doll
and put it on
and put
top
it
of a
on top
trash
of a trash
can.
can.
That doesn't
Right.
look
That doesn't look
natural.
Exactly.
natural.
And that's okay. Liking realism does not mean you're losing touch with reality. And enjoying imaginative or nurturing content does not mean someone treats a doll like a real child 24 hours a day. It does not mean
All right.
that.
All right.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Shelley.
So
Shelly.
liking liking realism is okay. And to suggest that reborn collectors are lonely or childless or disconnected from real life, that's stereotyping and that's harmful. Many collectors,
Hmm.
we have families, we have children, we have grandchildren, we have college educations, we have careers, we have full lives. And we just simply enjoy this hobby alongside everything else that we have in our lives. And I mean, and that's it. And that's all it is. It's there's nothing sensational about it. So Tanya said if we had teddy bears in the baby props, would that make them happy? Would they think we think it's a real baby bear? I don't know. Going by their logic, yeah, they would be like, "You think that's a real bear? You need to go to the park ranger."
Oh, you be
Oh, you
careful.
be
You
careful.
hold it
You
too
hold
much,
it
it's
too
going to
much,
come
it's
to
gonna come
life.
to life.
Right? Or get possessed. Um, so I guess I'll ask some questions like to the chat. Like, do you view Reborn Roleplay as storytelling, relaxation, or entertainment, or all of the above?
I
I
definitely do.
definitely do.
Yeah, me too. And while y'all are answering that, Nikki, how would you explain Reborn Roleplay to somebody who's never seen it before?
It's a
It's a
stage. It's
stage.
like
It's
a
like
real
a real
rehearsed play.
rehearsed play.
It's our
It's our
stage.
stage.
Yeah, it's work. People don't realize
Hmm.
roleplay is work. To make it look realistic.
True. I
True.
mean,
I
it's
mean, it's
just
just
a part
a
of the
part of the
hobby
hobby
where
where
if you like
if
that
you like
sort of
that sort
thing,
of thing,
it can be
it
really
can be really
fun.
fun.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of time and effort and planning goes into it. Like we're trying to get the lighting just right. Like you should have seen me. I'm not even doing a role play. I was trying to get the lighting just right so you could see Stellan really good. I didn't want any shadows to be on her. Like, I'm in here like placing everything just right. We put work into this, and any
Well,
good
it's like,
hobby deserves that.
okay, the
Okay, the
Barbies,
Barbies.
people just don't
People
stop
just
at
don't stop at
collecting.
collecting.
They start
They
making
start making
living
a living
rooms,
room,
bathrooms, a whole
bathrooms, a
Barbie
whole
house,
Barbie house,
all the mini
all the
stuff that
mini
goes
stuff that
with
goes
it,
with it,
which is very
which is very
fascinating. I like to
fascinating. I
watch
like to
it.
watch it.
Yeah, me too. I've spent hours watching that kind of content, seeing all the
Hmm.
mini stuff. Tanya said, I miss your role playing with baby Skylar. Yeah, I don't have him anymore. And Shelly said, I enjoy photographing my dolls and creating role play stories. Yes, it takes, I I guess the comment cut off for her. Tanya said she's making a cottage for her Blythe. Angela said, I
See,
love
that's
it.
so
I
cute.
just miss the meetups.
I like seeing all like the little mini dishes. I mean, just the little intricate details.
It takes me a good amount of R. I don't know why it keeps cutting off when you're trying to. All I'm seeing is letter R. So, Nikki, why do you think people struggle to understand role play as entertainment? Like, why do you
They
think
find,
it's so easy for these content creators to convince their viewers that we're not just entertaining?
because again, they think it's weird because we're grown women and something that looks so realistic should not look that realistic unless you're trying to pass it off as real. So it's got to be weird.
Yeah. And a lot of times I think it's just they don't want to. It's like if they know that their favorite content creator is against it, well, they're going to be against it too just because. It's kind of like go with the flow kind of thing. Well, everybody else says it's weird, so I got to say it's weird too. Natalie said, I don't do that. However, photographing a kit takes over 200 DSLR photos to get the few you use. Oh, trust me, I've done that too, taking uh, finished dolls photos. Like I'll be like, yeah, don't like that one, don't like that one. Like I'll think of a pose in my head that I think is going to look wonderful, and then when I take it, I'll be like, oh, no, I don't like the way that looks. Stiletto Mom
Hmm.
said my cousin is a film set designer, and all the work people do to present their dolls is at a professional level. Well done, ladies. Oh, thank you. We try. Yeah, I mean, I know people that's got like photography lights and everything. If y'all knew how many lights I had in this room, just so you can see my dolls well, like it's a whole production of lights in here. Like it's ridiculous. Shelly said, oops, sorry, I kept hitting the return button. I was like, I don't know what she's trying to say. It just keeps saying R and that's it. Tanya said, I bought my Pika to present to open tomorrow for Pika Wednesday. Or you bought her a present. Yeah, that's nice. Monique said all the stuff we have for the babies or the babies themselves is therapeutic for a lot of people as well as art. Hmm. Art in itself is therapeutic. You can go to a museum and enjoy art and experience therapy. Tanya said, "Don't get Penny started with the pictures." I love you, mean it. I mean, everybody knows that. I'm that picture, that person that's going to have all the pictures, and I'm the person that everybody comes to and says, "Hey, do you have a picture?" Like I have people saying, "Do you have a picture of my kid when they were 6 months old?" And I'm like, "Yeah. Why don't you? Why are you asking me for it?" But I usually have it, so that's why they ask. Monique said it's probably weird for them when they see us take a baby out and we're buying clothes for them, but they look realistic, so I don't know what the problem is with them. Right. Why are you going to showcase your beautiful piece of art in a tow sack? You know what I mean? You're going to buy
Right.
beautiful things for your beautiful things. My babies are beautiful from their sculpting all the way to their artwork. At least I think so. I'm not saying that in a bragging way. I love the babies that I have. And so um, why would I present them in a lesser way that's going to diminish their beauty and their art?
Hmm.
So it just doesn't make sense, to do it any other way. And Shelley said, I meant to say setting up photography scenes takes a lot of time. Yes, it does. They don't realize, people who are not in the community, they don't realize when they see that perfect photo, they don't realize everything we did to make sure that perfect photo came out. So even though we're in the reborn hobby, we have sub hobbies in that hobby. Like I love to edit videos. I love videography. That I enjoy doing that. I I love photography. So that's also like I call it a sub hobby in my hobby. I have
Right.
collections within my collection. I have bottle collections and bib collections or whatever. It's just it's fun. Monique said I don't take pictures very well. My husband is the one who does the pictures for me. Well,
That's
that's sweet.
sweet.
That's sweet. Yeah, that's really sweet of him. I just said no. It's like wait, let me see if I like that one. Nope, let's do it again. Yep. Monique said yes, they are beautiful, Penny. Thank you. I mean, art is subjective, so that's why I say that. Like to me, I have them. I think they're very beautiful, but they're very beautiful to me. Someone else might prefer a different sculptor, a different artist, or whatever, and that's okay. That's the beauty of it all. Um, so Nikki, have you ever felt stereotyped because of this hobby?
No,
No.
not me
Not me
personally. No.
personally, no. Yeah, wish I could say that. I've been stereotyped a lot. I remember my husband and son actually told me one time that they have to defend me to people when they find out
Oh,
the reborns. Yeah, they told me that. I was like, okay. Didn't know my husband and son would have to defend me occasionally, but glad you do. Shelly said, me too. I love photography and creating videos for Instagram and Facebook. Yeah, it's so fun and it's so rewarding when you see the end result. And I mean, even though you're doing it for you, you're also doing it for others because they also enjoy what you put out there. And so, for my chat people, why do you think realism makes some people uncomfortable? And I have a little, I guess, kind of a deep um, opinion about that. A lot of people will be like, oh, it's the uncanny valley because they look so real. And yeah, that's probably part of it. But yeah, we're getting an outfit change. You're getting a bonus. But I think that a lot of people have a problem with people who take comfort or have items that they need to take comfort in. It's like it makes them uncomfortable that you want comfort. It's like it's like, you're grown, suck it up. Like, how many times I've heard that? I hate that phrase. People be like, suck it up, buttercup. And I've said it jokingly, but I've heard people say that to their crying child. Comfort your child. Find out why they're crying. Don't just tell them to suck it up because you don't know what's going on. And some people have problems comforting others. They have problems knowing that someone needs comforted because it makes them uncomfortable. And so I feel like that's a lot of people's problem.
that's what I think
That's what I
too.
think
People
too.
get
People get
uncomfortable
uncomfortable
with something
with
they're not
something
used
they're not
to.
used to. And so I have another one, and this is to everybody. Nikki, you can answer it, and people in the chat, you can also answer it. Why do you think society feels entitled to police how others find comfort or joy?
People love to
People love to
judge.
judge. Oh, yeah, that's good. Stiletto Mom said definitely the uncanny valley, and they don't like to be fooled. Yeah, the whole they feel deceived. I think when deception is not even in play. Natalie said, I think a lot thinks it's freaky. Yeah, they do. Monique said because it's something different. Anything that's different, they're uncomfortable with. Yeah, the same people that preach diversity are the same people who are uncomfortable with it most of the time. And I'm like, practice what you preach. It's like they want you to accept they're different, but they don't want to accept you're different. And that has to be a two-way street. says many people do not have an imagination, so they can't process the fun. True. They don't understand why it's fun. So therefore, if it's not fun to them, if it's fun to us, there's something wrong with us because we're different.
Hmm. Oh, thank you, everybody, for the sweet
That is
comments
so
for
cute.
Aubrey.
She looks so cozy now. So, do you guys have any questions for us? That's everything I wanted to say in the video.
One thing I would like to touch on is something I think you're not supposed to say never, but the way things are, I don't think I will ever do a reborn documentary or someone asking me questions to post about my dogs because that always goes left. I've never seen a reborn documentary that I just thought was well put together.
Yeah, I would never. They couldn't. They couldn't pay me to be on one of those because they always do that. They twist it around. They always go for that same narrative that all these content creators are going for, mental illness and all this stuff. And I don't like that. Like, why do you feel like you have to twist it that way in order to present us to the world? No,
Thank
we
you,
don't
Monique.
appreciate that.
That's true. I don't think I will ever do one. They usually start out with dark music and dark undertones,
Yeah,
and
sad.
it
You've
just goes
had you
so
got to have
left.
a sad story. But I mean, the truth is, you don't have to understand a hobby to respect the people who enjoy it.
Right.
And you don't get to stigmatize others just because their joy doesn't look like your joy. That you don't get to do that. And so, like, when we look at the facts, like the history of the hobby, the monetization incentives, the stigma being spread, and the reality of this hobby, it's clear that this conversation, it's not about confusion. All of these videos they're putting out there, it's not about confusion. They're not wondering what's wrong with us. They're thinking that something's going on.
Mhm.
It's all about the impact. That's what it's all about. It's about making that money, getting those clicks, getting those views, and sensationalism sells.
Stiletto Supermom has a great question.
Oh, let me scroll up. Where do you think the industry is heading? Growing or stagnant? That is a very good question. I feel like that as long as we have people in the community who are open and are willing to welcome people and help educate and not turn education into bullying or um, not including people, I think we definitely have great room to grow. We have a lot of potential. So I would like to focus on that, like making sure everybody feels included, making sure there's room at the table. Like I feel like as long as we have room at the table for everybody, we're going to grow. So we just have to work together as a community to make sure that that happens. And so when I see someone who is very closed off and they're quick to judge and they tell somebody, you can't buy from me or you can't sit here, or whatever. I would like to be that person that comes along and says, "But you can sit here. You can be with me." And as long as more people do that, I think we'll grow. But as long as we be complacent and let people dictate and say you can't do this and you can't do that because you don't think the same way I do, then that's going to cause a problem. I mean, it'll definitely stifle the growth of the industry. So the people who do believe that like that, I wish they would have a change of heart, because when you push people away, you're stifling your growth. So, like if you're an artist, or if you're a vendor or whatever, you're a sculptor, and you don't sell to somebody because maybe they have done something that others don't approve of, you're affecting yourself. So, I mean, yeah, you're making that person feel like they're excluded, but you're also excluding yourself from a potential customer and potential growth for your business. And so I think it's important to include everyone and to continue to keep that growth going, because we don't want to be stagnant. We don't want a stagnant community. We want a growing, healthy, thriving community. And the only way to do that is to allow people to enjoy it. So, and I'll use an example like, say, somebody's child got a reborn that the grandma or the grandpa or something bought off Amazon, and you're a collector, and another collector or sculptor, artist, vendor, something found out about it, and and they're like, well, since your child has this doll, I am no longer selling to you. That's what I mean by doing things like that will cause the community to be stagnant, because that person then feels like they're excluded. And if you block them from buying, then they definitely can't buy anything authentic. So to me, that's counterproductive, and it would probably drive that person to buy more of the Amazon dolls or whatever, even though they didn't intend to. So that's counterproductive. Yeah, Monique said a lot of people in certain groups and reborn groups will pick and choose who they can buy their reborns, etc., etc. Yeah, I've seen that too. And I understand if you have friends who kind of call dibs. I've had that happen. I did have somebody get mad at me because I sold my silicone doll Adeline back to her artist. I'm sorry, but her artist has first dibs. She told me, she's like, if you ever sell her, please let me know because I want to buy her back. Well, of course I'm going to do that. And so, those kind of things, I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, just when if you just say you don't have a buyer and you've got your doll for sale, but then this person comes to you that maybe one of your friends has a problem with, but you don't have a problem with them, they haven't done anything to you. They want to buy your doll and you don't have another buyer, but you don't sell to them, you've missed out on a sale. Like, make that make sense to me. Monique, so they're the doll police. That's what I call them. Yeah, that's what a lot of people call them. But yeah, I just feel like as long as we keep everybody included and in the loop, that's going to help our community to grow.
Mhm.
Because when people feel unwanted, they're going to leave. I've seen people leave. So people people have left this hobby in droves. You know how many people that there was when I came into this hobby, and even though it has grown exponentially since I came in the hobby, there's so many people that used to be content creators on YouTube and they no longer are. Like, they just, you know, jumped ship and left. Yeah, Natalie said, unless you're a known repeat scammer, I don't agree with the policing. Right. A scammer, that's a totally different thing. Like, I'm not saying include scammers in anything because nobody wants to be scammed. Um, but sometimes I feel like people will be left out of things or they'll be excluded because they made so and so mad. You know what I mean? So now everybody has to be mad at them because that person's mad at them. And, it's like a bandwagon kind of thing. But yeah, scammers, people who are taking people's money and they're not delivering dolls, and, that's a totally different thing. That's not even in the same ball game. But yeah, I'm all about exposing the scammers. Yeah, if I know somebody's a scammer, I will call them out. Because I got scammed about a doll that I was trying to buy, a masterpiece doll, and I didn't mind calling her out because she had scammed other people too. And she had a lot of people fooled. But then when other people started stepping up, going, yeah, she did the same thing to me, then those people who were taking up for her realized that I was telling the truth because at first I got accused of lying. And I'm like, y'all, I have receipts, I have screenshots of everything. This lady took my money for the doll and then put the same doll back up for sale and was trying to sell it again when she hadn't even sent it to me. So that's the definition of a scammer right there. Mean girl mentality. Yeah. Yeah, Monique, I hope you feel better. So, anybody have anything else they want to say? I guess I should try to wrap this up because we're already at an hour and a half. Doesn't even feel like it. Stiletto Supermom said if it wasn't for Natalie Scholl's Everly Gwynn, I would have left the community. I was so close, but how could I refuse that kid? I
Oh,
know. Like, how? She is beautiful. Like, I just sit and admire her. Like, I've had her for months. And sometimes I'll just get her out and strip her down to her onesie and just admire her art like she's brand new and I just got her. Like, I just love it. And I've told Natalie that too. I'll like send her a text and I'll be like, I just love her. Or she'll just be sitting somewhere one day and I'll randomly send her a picture and be like, look at this sweet baby. I just love her. And I have her prototype Jaden too. Jaden Awake. And he's still available, y'all. I've had people ask me if his sculpt is still available, and at first I thought it wasn't, but Natalie informed me that it very much still is. So you can get it off of Natalie's website. I'm gonna get him and bring him on over. I don't know if I can fit him on here with her. Yes.
so
So
sweet.
sweet. We're gonna try to make him fit. Natalie said, "Oh, thank you." I thought I was starting to say, "Love you." Oh, love you. Thank you, Shelly. I'm glad you enjoyed the live, and I'm glad you enjoyed all of our talking points. So, I mainly just wanted to put this video out here for education, and I mean, you have to set the record straight sometimes. I mean, some people they might be like, "Oh, it's dramatic or whatever," but it's really not because drama is chaos. And this conversation is structured and factual, and in my opinion, very necessary. It needed to be talked about. So,
I think so
I think
too.
so too. Yeah, and it's worth taking seriously because when a community is repeatedly misrepresented and they're just labeled mentally ill or whatever, taking it seriously is appropriate at that point because the impact matters more than how the creators claim it was meant to be. Because they'll try to downplay it like, oh well, we didn't mean it that way. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So hopefully, like I said, I mean this video is out here for educational purposes, and maybe it'll reach all the right people who need to hear it. And um, if they do watch this video and they're still not willing to learn, then label them a troll, hit the block button, and move on. That's all you can do. Because
Right.
some people are just, they're never going to change. If that's their mentality, that's going to be their mentality. Shelly said, this is a great way for us dog collectors to engage and meet other collectors in the community. I agree. So, like, I'm going to have this live show is going to be on Tuesdays for all of 2026. Like, that's my commitment that I'm making. I think it's going to be really fun. And there's like a couple of Tuesdays here and there that, I may skip, especially for like special occasions or whatever, because I know if a holiday falls on Tuesday, you're going to be with your family. You don't want to tune into a live video. So, like, there may be things like that or whatever, but yeah, I'm going to have great talking points. I'm going to have guests on my shows, and yeah, it's going to be fun. So, right now, I've got a lot of things planned out, and I'm going to be looking for some more guests. I have a guest lined up for all of January, and I have one guest for February, and that's Natalie. Natalie Shaw is going to be my guest. In February, I'll still have to determine that date when she's going to be on, but of course, you guys will know all about that when it gets closer to time. So, yeah, I plan on having fun with this, and I hope that you guys do too, and you find it helpful because that's what my videos are going to be about. I want them to be resourceful and helpful and never dramatic. And so, talking about topics that can be a little difficult sometimes, I'm not going to say they're not going to happen, but they're not going to be dramatic. So,
Mm-hmm.
they will be informative and helpful. So that'll be my purpose. So, Nikki, do you have anything you would like to say before we close?
No, I think we covered everything.
Okay, so one last time, anybody have anything else they would like to say in the chat before we close? Okay, I'm going to take it. We're quiet as little mice, so I'm going to take it as that's a no. Shelly said, I'll be looking forward to more lives. I have to put a reminder on my phone somehow. I always miss lives. Well, I've got to find out. That's why I was sharing the live on my wall and scheduled it. I've got to find out why it would not let me log into it. It would not. It was every time I would try, it would say you're not allowed to go on the live, and I'm like, it's my live. What do you mean I'm not allowed? So, are you not allowed to join the live? It kept saying, and I was like, okay, weird. So until I figure out that problem, I'll just announce it as I'm going live, you know, with this video on this Tuesday. But just to make it easy, in January, my lives will be on Tuesday at 7 Central. So it'll be an ongoing thing, and that way it'll be easy for you to tune in. You'll know what night it's going to be. And occasionally, if something happens, like I do a pop up live, like I did tonight, of course I'll let everybody know too. But those are going to be like the definite days that you'll know. Angela said I kept getting booted for some reason. YouTube's having issues. I don't know. Stiletto Supermom said, thank you both for this live. You're welcome, and thank y'all for being here. So I'm so excited, and I will see all of you in my Doll Room Live series that's coming out in January. And I'm glad that you joined me for this one. And I thank y'all for being here. So I will see you in my next video. Bye, Nikki. Bye,
Guys, bye
everybody.
guys.